School enrollment trends are facing a major reshuffling due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Tahlil Mohideen shares what this could mean for the future of in-person learning.
Student enrollment in both public and private schools is taking a major hit.
What we saw during the pandemic for public school enrollments was a drop that was almost 10 times what we were seeing in previous years.
Drops, Wisconsin Policy Forum researchers say, are mostly concentrated in pre-K.
Maybe their child was on the bubble of being able to attend school or not, chose to keep their child home an additional year rather than, send them into school, during a pandemic.
But not all parents are opting to delay their child's schooling.
We doubled in enrollment. We had over 4,000 students in our K-12 program.
Instead, choosing to send their kids to virtual charter schools.
All of those things that really other districts were scrambling to provide resources for, kids could get started right away. They didn't have the learning loss that other school districts had.
Or even homeschooling.
A lot ended up doing the homeschooling because the online, sitting your kid in front of Zoom the majority of the day, just did not work.
Increasing by 47% in the 2020-2021 school year.
They said, hey, we're already taking care of them at home anyways. It's not like they're going to school.
Membership to the Madison area homeschoolers Facebook group went from about 50 new members a year to an additional 400 new members post-pandemic.
People saying that they don't want their kids going to school with masks on. We also get people saying they don't want their kids going to school where other people don't have their masks on.
But what does this mean for public schools?
Districts that are experiencing a drop in student enrollment could potentially would likely face, some drops in revenue limits and state aid going forward.
State funding formulas for public schools are heavily reliant upon enrollment numbers, formulas that don't account for the pandemic.
That's the challenge, is that you have this disruption in our funding system, but at least for the long term, you have the same needs. For the students in the schools themselves.
Forum researchers say at this point, it's hard to tell if these enrollment trends will change anytime soon.
Case numbers being up somewhat from where they were in June, whether we continue to see pretty substantial impacts to enrollment. I think that's just an open question. We have to see.
Or what implications they might have on student learning.
I think there's a lot of reason to be concerned that student progress has been affected, but there's not the kind of data that we would like to have about that.
In Madison, Tahlil Mohideen, News 3 Now.
Wisconsin Policy Forum says national data on enrollment follows a similar pattern. Nationwide, public school enrollment has seen its largest decline since 2000.